Well, hello there, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani, along with Jerry Usher, and as we always say, and you are the key person here. We hope you had a beautiful Memorial Day, and now we're back live with you with new topics this week, and I think ones that we're all going to relate to. So we're talking about quarantine dreams today. That's what they coined them, quarantine dreams, those vivid, wild dreams that we're all having during this isolation period. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, Jerry, and I am looking forward to this discussion because I don't want to be the only one having these very vivid dreams.
Well, I could assure you, even if no one listening to the show is having quarantine dreams, you are not the only one, okay? It makes at least two of us because I am having some very vivid, very interesting dreams. Problem is, I know they say you should write them down when you wake up. I was joking with you and our producer, Michael, off the air. The only thing I'm worried about when I wake up is going back to sleep. But I am definitely having some dreams. In fact, I have awakened during the night, Debbie, and said, what was that all about? You know, the dreams were just that different for me.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? The fact that we're talking about this, I think it can really help everyone because we might be wondering, why is this happening right now? Is this something I should learn from it? But these dreams are very functional. You know, it's a part of a coping mechanism. A lot of science and research behind it saying that it really can help us deal with being disconnected. In our dreams, there's a lot of dreams people are talking about of connecting with other people. So it's a way of coping. It's a way of getting through this because let's face it, our routines, everything that we know and love around us has changed radically, right? And so our dreams help us create that balance again. That's supposedly what the psychologists and other people that have researched this and dream experts and all that kind of stuff. So we want to hear from you. Share if you're having these vivid dreams, if they're happening throughout your family, if other people have called up and said, hey, this is really strange. Or even if you just want to talk about dreams themselves, let's talk about that as well. See if there's a reason for that. And this is the time to do it. This wonderful conversation we're having on Take Two. So here's the number. Call in if you've had some vivid dreams. 833-288-3986. That's the number to call.
All right, lines are open right now. It's always the best time to call right now at 833-288-3986. And obviously, Debbie, when we think of dreams, we think of God using dreams to communicate to his people on earth. And, of course, our salvation was aided greatly by dreams because Joseph, in 4 instances in the Bible, had dreams to take the child into Egypt, time to go back a different way. Don't be afraid to take Mary into your home. So God uses those in very, very powerful ways. Now, I would say those are probably dreams of a different degree because those are God actually through angels communicating with St. Joseph. But nonetheless, I understand as I was preparing for this, and I know you know this, that oftentimes it is during very, very stressful times in our lives. I've read stories of 9/11 when this was happening, during certain world wars. And right now, we have people dealing with financial worries. Am I going to have a job in the future? I was paying for my son's or daughter's college. Will I be able to continue to do that? Loved one ill with the coronavirus. So, Debbie, the stressors that are upon all of us right now are just absolutely immense.
Absolutely. And that could be what's causing these very vivid dreams that seem wild at times. I mean, there's people reporting that, it's the strangest stuff. You're having a family dinner and all of a sudden somebody's at the dinner table that, you would never want there ever at your dinner table. And then that person's there and you're conversing with that person and it's like, okay, this is really strange. This is not normal. This is not normally how I think. This person really wouldn't be welcome in my home, but this person's sitting at the dinner table. What's that all about? Well, you know what? There's a lot to be said about dreams. So let's talk about it. If you've had some of these vivid dreams, even if you've dreamt about somebody that's passed, and you dreamt about them being at your dinner table or in your kitchen or walking in just saying hello, people are having dreams like that. This is very interesting, and we're all experiencing it on some level. Like some people don't even remember their dreams. My husband has zero dreams. I mean, he doesn't remember anything. No, I don't think he's ever remembered a single dream. So, it may not happen to you. Did you know that? Did I ever tell you that?
No, you didn't. Marty never told me that either. That's rather interesting.
He's never, even as a small child.
I wonder if that's the sign of just a clean conscience, and you just have everything in right order in your life, so you don't have to dream
Either
weird
that
things.
or denial.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hey, can I put a second spin on this, Debbie? Do you mind?
Please.
A lot of us, we have dreams of what we want to do in life, okay? Mm-hmm. We have dreams, we have ideas, we have goals, we have aspirations. So I would like to put a secondary kind of spin on this. Sure, call in if you're having these vivid COVID-19 dreams, quarantine dreams as they're calling them. But if your dreams, we want to hear, are your dreams for the future still intact? Has the pandemic and its consequences caused you to believe the goals you had before it started may now not pan out? Because, Debbie, this is important too. I think a lot of people are looking at, man, I had the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years of my life all planned out. Now everything is up in the air.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were just saying before we came on for the show, I was just sharing with Michael, our producer, I cannot believe that we're halfway done with 2020. I mean, is this amazing how fast it's gone? Well, I mean, given that we were stuck in our homes and stuff, I mean, that part, dragged on. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, the 2020 was supposed to be the year of clear vision. Everybody said a new decade. This is it. This is going to be when everybody's dreams and hopes and everything comes true. Well, that kind of crashed and burned at the beginning of the year. Right, Jerry? Right. I mean, it really changed.
Yeah, I mean, at my age, I don't have, all of these lifelong 20, 30, 40, 50-year dreams or goals, but I still do have some, and I would have to say both literally and figuratively, my dreams now are a little bit foggy because my vision, I should say, because when I wear a mask, it fogs up my glasses. So that's what I mean in the literal sense, but also in the figurative sense as well. Debbie, we have some ministry things that we want to unveil and move ahead in the future. And, looking at the situation as it is right now, we have to trust God more than ever before, I think. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, yep.
Quarantine.
Go ahead.
Quarantine dreams. Sorry about that, Jerry. Quarantine dreams. That's what we're talking about, or any type of dream. We want to hear from you. So call in 833-288-3986.
Unplanned, the true story of Abby Johnson.
I would be the youngest director in Planned Parenthood history.
She believed in a woman's right to choose.
I've had an abortion myself, so I don't have any problem with another woman making the same decision.
Until the day she saw something that changed everything.
Tiny, perfect little baby. And then it was just gone.
Now she's pulling back the curtain on the abortion industry. Unplanned.
Available at EWTNRC.com and the EWTN app.
EWTN, communicating the faith.
You get paid in heaven for the ministry that you do on here. I love your show. My life has completely changed through God's power and through His revelation. I've changed myself in my life. All my first fruits go to God, and I remain in God. I pray all the time. Your show is in my prayer.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
Why do we need to pray? We don't pray because God needs our prayers. We pray because we need God's grace. And every day, when I face the day, I realize I have no idea what I'm doing. And I need God to walk me through my day, step by step, giving me the grace, the counsel, the love, the encouragement that enables me to glorify Him in everything that I do and become the person He wants me to be. Prayer is my lifeline.
We're looking forward to hearing from you if your pattern of dreams has taken on a new sort of life of its own here during this pandemic. They're called quarantine dreams, and they often are, as Debbie said, a way of coping. They are a way of dealing with stress. They bring back a lot of memories of people and things, but they can also include some pretty bizarre elements to them. And people say that it's because we're all stressed out to a certain degree or another during this pandemic. So if that describes you, if you've had dreams like that, join us here on the program. Let's talk about it. 833-288-3986. And I want to tell you about Holy Mass. It is still airing, obviously, on EWTN. It will never not air on EWTN. And it's Holy Mass from Our Lady of the Angels Chapel every morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and it encores every day throughout the day on EWTN Essentials. That's Holy Mass from EWTN.
Okay, so here's how it works. When you dial this number, 833-288-3986, you'll speak to Ryan Penny. He's our call screener. He is amazing to talk to. He'll chat with you for a few minutes. He'll put you on hold. You'll get to listen live, and then you can share about your dreams. Now, Jerry has expanded the topic out to include all sorts of dreams. How about those dreams that you put down on December 31st last year, where you said, this is what is going to happen for us and our family in 2020. Okay, let's talk about that, how that's changed a little bit. Let's talk about actually having vivid dreams, the quarantine dreams. And Jerry, it's showing that the research and the science is also showing that these dreams are very functional. They help us reconnect because we feel so disconnected. And so it's also a form of coping, which helps with that stress. So I think this is an interesting discussion, this conversation we're having. So let's enter into it in a very real way, and then let's see if we have a better understanding of what's happening to all of us. So call in, don't miss this opportunity, 833-288-3986. And Belle is first up in San Antonio, Texas, on Facebook. First time caller. Hi, Belle.
Hello.
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 Feel free to share, Belle. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. Not too long ago, I had a dream. It was it felt realistic to me. I had just fallen asleep when a drone came into my house, and I heard a buzzy noise, and I was trying to wake up because I could hear the buzzy noise, but I couldn't wake up. I couldn't move. I was kind of paralyzed, and I was trying to wake up my husband, and I couldn't. And in my dream, he told me just to calm down. And when the drone came up on top of me, it implanted something behind my head. And so I tried to wake up, and I woke up, and I pushed him because it was startling to me, and then he just looked at me saying what was wrong, and I was like, you didn't hear that noise? And he was like, no. You didn't hear me mumbling? He was like, no. And so I just forgot about it. I got up and I drank some water and I went back to sleep. And the next morning when I woke up, my head was tender. The part where in my dream they implanted something in my head, it was tender, and it was tender for a couple of days. So yeah, it was just something that it's kind of awkward, and I just wanted to forget about it because I didn't want to be thinking too much about it. It was just something that I experienced, and it was kind of a realistic dream to me.
Well, Belle, the first thing that comes to my mind is I don't know if you have any recollection of maybe bumping your head or in that particular spot, or you were carrying something and, like on your shoulder or something, and it might have bumped your head a little bit. Did you stop to think and ask yourself if anything like that had happened?
No, because I'm a driver, so I really don't.
Okay.
None of that happened to me.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. This is exactly what we're talking about, Debbie. And I have had dreams too, Belle. You talked about you couldn't wake up. It was almost like you were paralyzed. And I have had, not just during the COVID-19 pandemic, but many, many times in my life, I have had dreams like I was being held down, pinned down on my bed. And typically it was almost like some force of evil or something that wasn't allowing. I've tried to wake up. I know I'm trying to wake up, and I can't. And I feel like I'm being pinned down on my bed. And I've never really been able to discern what that means either, Debbie. But this is certainly, it fits the category of what we're talking about today. Certainly.
Yeah. Belle, have you ever had a dream like this before the pandemic?
Well, this actually happened, I want to say maybe like a couple of weeks before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yes, and just yesterday I had a dream of, last night I had a dream where I was walking into Walmart, and in my mind I was thinking, I want to see if anybody's wearing their mask. I didn't see anybody wearing their mask, but I saw an old lady wearing her mask. And I saw a cousin that I don't even talk to for years. And she lives in the west of Texas, in Lubbock. And I asked her, I'm sorry I didn't give you a ride. And she's like, it's okay, but I needed a ride to Dallas. And I go, no, well, you told me Lubbock. And then she's like, no, it was one in a lifetime opportunity. I could have met my soulmate. And I told her, well, if he was your soulmate, he would have gone for you. And I left, but that was awkward because I had never seen her. I hadn't seen her in a long time, and I don't even really keep contact with her through phone either.
Well, did you hear at the beginning of the when we were introducing the show topic? I had shared that because I had read about it when we were doing the research for this show, and it talks about that, about people you haven't seen in a very long time. You have really no connection with anymore or relationship that much, and then they're all of a sudden they appear, and you're having a conversation like you were just having it, like just a continuing a conversation like you do have a relationship, and these dreams are happening on a regular basis for people. And they were saying, these are different people that study dreams and stuff like that. So take it for what it's worth. But they were saying that this could be a need in general to reconnect because we feel so torn apart and isolated and distanced from one another, and the social distancing that it's now getting into our minds on how to behave that way. And so because of that, it's triggering these very, very functional dreams to happen for us that are very real, and they'll bring it to our minds these people that we haven't had a relationship with in a long time. So does that bring you that maybe that's, if you take that explanation as valid, then maybe that can help explain what happened with you. But I just want to get back to one other thing. Belle, I know that I know this because I actually have a dear friend who has always had very vivid dreams, and when she does, sometimes she finds herself just acting out in the dream, and then ultimately potentially hurting herself. And what I mean by that is there was one time she was having an argument with somebody, and she was actually fighting them, and she was trying to punch them, and instead she ended up punching herself. She actually hurt herself. And I don't know if that played a part in the dream that you were having about the drone and everything, because maybe, maybe you were trying to, somehow defend yourself, that you didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you thought about that it could have just been a reactionary thing.
I didn't think about that, honestly, but I was laying in my back, and where the part where it was tender, it was the back of my head. Mm-hmm. And my husband was right beside me, and he was falling asleep as well. When I woke up, I pushed him, with my left side of my hand, and I would like to wake him up. I go, why did you tell me to calm down? Didn't you see the drone on top of me? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, and I woke up thinking it was real, like it really happened. And I don't know, it's something that is mysterious to this day, because I did have a tender back. My head was tender a couple of days after that dream.
Yeah. Well, as we've already learned in this conversation, we barely scratched the surface, Belle. It could be attributed to any number of things. It could be some of the stressors from the pandemic. They say, I've never studied this much, but they say even what you eat before you go to bed can contribute to your dreams. How much sleep you're getting. Debbie, I came across that many times in my research for this program, that people are saying because of the REM sleep, it runs in cycles, I guess is the way I understand it. And people aren't, hopping out of bed at 4 a.m. to get ready for work if they're staying home. So they're getting that extra sleep and extra opportunities, I guess, to dream. So could be any one of a number of things, Belle, but we thank you for calling in and getting us started here on your experience of quarantine dreams on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Yeah, can I just say one other thing, Belle, before you hang up? And this is for everyone if you have very vivid dreams and they can be, startling or disruptive in some way, or even you can be a little bit fearful or something happens, please make sure you have a rosary nearby, a blessed rosary. I mean, hold on to the rosary. I know so many folks that sleep with their rosaries, and it's very, it's very comforting. So I just wanted to encourage everybody as well, because sometimes these dreams can be, they can be a little bit, you can feel uneasy when you wake up.
Disconcerting,
yeah. Yeah. And then you don't want to go back to sleep the next night. You know what I mean?
Or that night.
Yeah. True. Thanks, Belle.
Thank you, Belle. Thank you so much. God bless your day. Debbie, I often even pray before I go to bed. God, please, guide and guard my dreams tonight. If there's anything you would like for me to see from you, any kind of sense of, where my life is going, where you're calling me, anything that you want to convey to me. So I ask the Holy Spirit actually to be the one who kind of directs my dreams. And I think we can definitely do that. Yeah, and I think God would be very pleased with that we want to, even in our sleep, even in our dreams, be guided by His holy hand.
Right. Oh, well said. Well said. Jerry, I know we have some social media comments coming in. If you wanted to share some of those, because I feel bad starting with Elizabeth and then having to go on the break. So I just don't know if you want to comment on some of the social media comments. Elizabeth, please hold on. You have some very fascinating things to share. But you have some folks weighing in?
Yeah, well, as you know, we stream the video of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And we have a couple of comments here from YouTube. One is from Norris. And Norris said, "Yes, vivid dreams here, ! Both my husband and I, seems like all of our dreams are nonsensical, but they are entertaining, LOL." So that is from Norris, Debbie. And Mama says, "I do not remember many of my dreams. I had a dream last week that was very troubling to me, making me rethink / pray for God to reveal sins in me that I don't realize." Oh. So their mama's kind of taking that approach that I just mentioned, Debbie, and that is, I think we can not only going into sleep ask God to guide our dreams, but if we wake up in the middle of the night from a wacky dream or in the morning, there's nothing at all wrong. And it's a very, very noble thing to say, "Lord, anything you want me to know from that dream?"
Right. Yeah. So if you have some vivid dreams you want to share, please call in now. You have plenty of time. 833-288-3986. And speaking of time, Jerry, we actually have more time than I thought. So if we can get started with Elizabeth. Sure. in Wisconsin, thank you so much for waiting and welcome. We'll get started with you. If you can hang with us through the break, that would be great, Elizabeth. Welcome to Take Two.
Thank you for taking my call. What, you want to hear about the dream I had?
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. Oh, all right. I've dreamed very vivid dreams for weeks. I have. We have been in lockdown since middle of March, and we're still in lockdown here. And the dream I had last night was I was asleep and seeking help, and I was reaching out for somebody who I felt shadows of people were standing there, and I was saying, "Please help me get up. I need to get up." And I was reaching out, and nobody came. And I said, "Well, if you can't help me, I'm going to have to do it myself." So I got up and stood by my bed, and I woke up when I stood up, and I realized no one was there, and I had been talking probably out loud to the two people who were not there.
Right.
And I'd like to tell you that I'm 93 years old. I'll be 93 in July. And I have lived in this assisted living place that's very nice. And we have felt quite a lot of shutdown because we can't see each other anymore. We've been locked in our rooms, And now I've gone out in the hall, but only no one else is there. You just see all the closed doors. So it is sort of startling, but I've offered each day. I offer everything up to the Lord in prayer before the day starts. So
that is beautiful. Elizabeth, as Debbie mentioned, we do have to pause and let our local affiliates do a few announcements, and we will come back within a couple of minutes. If you can stay with us, I have a couple of insights here for whatever they're worth. I can share those with you. Debbie might have a couple of things to share as well. We're talking about quarantine dreams today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Are you dreaming more than usual, more vivid than usual? Some maybe sad dreams, scary dreams. What about your dreams for the future? I mean, for your life, are those still intact given the pandemic? 833-288-3986.
Father John Riccardo.
When you and I wake up every day, do we strive to know Jesus or not? Quick question to you and me right now. Is that what you and I are doing every single day?
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN Radio.
Hey, Take Two family, it's here, and we can't wait for you to see what we've created to help you reach your highest potential in life. It's StandTallToday.com, our brand new website loaded with just the things you're looking for. Those include our team of life coaches, resources picked out just for you, our webinars, book club, and more. Whether you're struggling to find your purpose or feel like you have it pretty much figured out, let us help you today at StandTallToday.com. That's StandTallToday.com.
Hello, family. Our world has been turned upside down by the coronavirus pandemic. Concern for our loved ones, economic uncertainty, and of course, social distancing. It's easy to understand why there's such great anxiety and fear in the world. I'm convinced that God is using this moment to bring us closer to Him and to strip away the distractions of our normal daily lives, and that He is calling us to place our trust in Him. In this difficult moment, EWTN is a great spiritual resource that can help you, your family, and friends make sense of the chaos. Of course, EWTN is where you can turn for Mass every day. In addition to our television and radio channels, you can also find the Mass, live Eucharistic adoration, the Rosary, and other devotions on our web and video on-demand platforms. And of course, EWTN News will continue to provide you with the latest updates on the pandemic, as well as other current events around the world from a Catholic perspective. Please know that we're praying for you, and let's also join together in prayer for our EWTN family around the world. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. We embrace the essence of feminine spirituality on Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you on EWTN Radio. Thanks to Michael, Jeff, and Ryan, the show team. Thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program, including 88.5 WSFI in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's where Elizabeth is with us. And just to recap what you shared, Elizabeth, 93 beautiful years old, coming up in July, like you said. And since the lockdown in March, you've been having some of these quarantine dreams, unusual, maybe vivid dreams. And then you were talking about last night, you were seeking help. You saw shadows of people around you, but you realized you're going to have to accomplish whatever it was you needed help with by yourself. And then you mentioned not seeing your loved ones. So I think just a couple things that stick out to me there. Elizabeth and Debbie, you can comment on this too. Obviously, not being able to see your loved ones, that has got to be, a real stressor on you. But you're in an environment where you rely on other people so many times during the day. And your need for self-reliance during that dream might have just been a way of somehow, I don't know, Debbie, help me out here. Since you have the need of the assistance of people, and then you have a dream that you're not getting that assistance.
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Elizabeth, my mother is in a place as well, a private home now, but she was in assisted living for many years, and you all rely on each other and the assistance. That's why they call it assisted living. It has that right in the title of it. This desire to have a support team around around you. And like you said, with all the doors being closed, you feel very, you have to rely on yourself, and get through this. But I just want to say this, Elizabeth, you're 93 years young. You're an amazing woman. You've got such strength. You can tell you have that core strength in you, and you know that your guardian angel's right next to you. So you're never really alone behind your apartment door. You know that your guardian angel's right with you. And I just want to say, yeah, I agree with Jerry. I think that may have played a factor in the dream. What do you think, Elizabeth?
Yes, one of the things I did want to mention to you is that I have macular degeneration, and because I have not been able to get the shots, it has gotten to the point where I'm practically blind now. And the shots I was getting in the eye was maintaining a certain amount of vision, which I don't have at all now. But, it's another thing that I have to offer up. I consider it a blessing that I have something big to offer up every day.
Wow. You're a beautiful soul, Elizabeth. Keep going. Okay. We're all, the funny thing about this whole thing, the ironic thing I should say, is that, we're so disconnected, if you will, and socially distanced, but we're all in this together. And that's the one thing that can keep us all moving forward. And so we just wish for you much strength, and we pray that you get back on track with those treatments for your eyes, and so that you can keep that at bay, and you could hopefully maybe start to see again. I agree, Jerry. Jerry just wrote over that you have an amazing outlook on things, Elizabeth. Have people told you that before at your assisted living place?
Oh no, they always consider that when they see me walking down the hall. Oh, look, you're walking, and it's wonderful. Look at you, we're walking, things like that. But it's the way people are around here.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Well, you have a great attitude, a beautiful heart. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Well, that's all I have to say, other than the fact that I'm just delighted to speak to you again. And I listen to you frequently, and I have lived with EWTN the whole time I've been here. And during the time that we were really closed up, the week of Easter, that was so intense and wonderful. Absolutely. I felt like I was right there with them.
Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. Well, thank you, Elizabeth, and we appreciate your call. Our prayers go with you, as Debbie said. And, Debbie, neither one of us would miss this opportunity to once again remind our listeners of the importance of EWTN on the radio, on TV, and all of EWTN's other ministries and outreaches for people like Elizabeth, and for so many people who are no longer really able to get to Mass as frequently as they would like, or perhaps at all. The Mass on TV and radio is really a lifeline for them. Praying the Rosary, it can make you feel like you have a family, huge family around you, when maybe you're physically alone. So I know you join me in just encouraging everyone to be financially supportive of EWTN and your local station.
Absolutely. Definitely. Elizabeth, thank you again. We're sending you virtual hugs, okay, from the Take Two family. So thank you for calling in. And don't be a stranger. Call us anytime. Before we get to Michael, I just want to do a quick shout out to Mary in Kansas. Mary, you had a really fascinating dream about President Trump. Okay, we want to hear about that. Come on, Mary, if you can call back or at least email us, take2@EWTN.com, or call back, Mary. Ryan will bump you to the head of the line because you were in line waiting to go next, and then you must have had to drop off. So Mary in Kansas, call back. Michael in New Mexico, Sirius XM 130. That's the way you're listening. Hi, Michael. Welcome.
Hi. Nice to talk to you again. I was calling because I know a person that had such a real dream. She was used to be a high diver or whatever, and she was dreaming that she was diving off the board, and she dove off the end of her bed and ended up becoming a paraplegic. Renee Bondi, I don't know if you've heard of her.
Oh, yes,
But
yes.
she's a Catholic. She's a Catholic singer, a really good one. And her story is amazing because after she became a paraplegic, she still wanted to sing, so she had to work on her muscles in her stomach. And she got them strong enough in her diaphragm and everything that she was able to start singing again. And then on top of that, she was able to give natural childbirth because of all the exercises she did. So God really blessed her with that. So.
Wow. I am aware of who Renee is, and actually I had the opportunity to interview her. She does beautiful, beautiful music. But you know what, Michael? I was not aware of what it was that led to her having being in a wheelchair. That is absolutely, it's just astonishing to hear that how powerful that dream was for Debbie. I mean, it was so very real that, this is the result of it. It's very, very sad, but she has made such a great career and ministry in music out of this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she turned it into something very beautiful for God. But Michael, I just want to say that goes back to what we were saying earlier in the show, where we were talking about how people can actually physically act out in different ways, and like get up. I know there's a lot of people that will get up and start running down the hallway, because they're being chased. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can happen that you respond, or I should say you react to what is happening in your mind in these dreams. So they are very powerful. And, I think sleep in general is very powerful. It's very healing. We know that people that are sleep deprived, they just can't seem to function fully during the day, and it wreaks havoc in their emotional state, and also can cause sometimes even illness because of being sleep deprived. So sleep is very important, and with that comes dreams. And so you're right. I do believe they're very functional, and sometimes they can be, it could happen where something, possibly dangerous could happen, or something that affects your life fully. Michael, anything else you want to share about that? Because it's interesting. I don't think we give enough credit to our what you would call like our rhythm, if you will. Our when we're awake, when we're sleeping, and what that means for our bodies and what it can do. What do you think, Michael?
Well, I totally agree. I just wanted to say she's a very lovely person, and if you ever had a chance to have her on, if you're going to do a music hour or something, she would be fantastic to have on board. Mm-hmm. She goes around to different parishes and talks about her experience. So that's how I knew how I found out about her. So. But yeah, you're right. I've had dreams where I end up saying, "Oh, there's stuff oozing out of the wall,"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And things like that. But I also was a train operator and a bus driver for Santa Clara County in California, and ended up having dreams where I was operating the bus naked. Somebody told me that's because I was feeling vulnerable. And so anyway, if you were to catalog all the dreams, I think you'd use up all the paper in the world, because there's just so many different dreams. So, but it's as always, it's a pleasure talking to you both, and you are such wonderful people. So God bless you both.
Thank you, Michael.
You're very kind. Yeah.
Well, but that's true, though, what Michael's saying. Our dreams, you sometimes they manifest because of something that is going on inside of us emotionally, like the fears, like you said, Jerry, the stress that's happening with the pandemic, or maybe you're feeling nervous about a job that you're about to start, and so you have all these strange dreams beforehand. I mean, so it does play, it can wreak a little havoc if you don't kind of process them out. That's all I would say, because we're getting some comments coming in by via text, and they're saying, like Kathy just said, yeah, Debbie, I totally agree. Sometimes it's hard to go back to sleep or want to go to sleep the next night because you don't want this again if it's something that is unsettling.
Yeah, and I think it's not unfair to say a little prayer for all the people who probably can't even sleep at night right now because of too many worries on their minds, too many concerns, the anxiety, the depression, and so forth. So let's keep everybody in that category in our prayers, and everybody else who these stressors are, causing, the unusual sleep patterns and so forth. Also watching on YouTube today, Debbie, NH, the initials NH, says very vivid dreams since the start of lockdown. Anxieties are manifesting, and the devil is constantly trying to steal my peace even at night. I started to pray before bed, and this has really helped. Okay, praise God. That's
wow.
From NH on YouTube.
NH, okay, and we've got more coming in. They're coming in pretty fast now, so you guys are starting to participate. That's great. It's okay. We're going to go with you. Next time, call in just a little bit earlier or send your messages in a little bit earlier. We want to get to everybody. But real quickly, here's something that you can do right now if you're listening or right after the show, right away. It only takes about a minute. Go to take2show.com and take the 60-second survey, and it'll help us decide on topics to celebrate our 5-year anniversary, which is coming up June 15th. So take the survey. A lot of folks have taken it already. We've got some interesting results. I was going to say Ryan. Michael Birchfield, our producer, did the survey. He did a great job. He says it takes 60 seconds. It actually took me 2 minutes, Michael. I'm just going to say, but that's okay. It's close enough. But take the survey, take2show.com. Jerry?
Okay. Well, you know what? I still have yet to take it, so I'm going to try to get that down to 60 seconds, Michael. I'll keep you posted on that. Back to your calls on Quarantine Dreams here on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. We have Elizabeth next in North Bay, Ontario, listening on the EWTN app, and a first-time caller to Take Two. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
And about the COVID. It's been affecting us everywhere. And last night I had a dream. I feel that it was affected by the COVID. And I dreamt I was in my bed sleeping, and 2 dogs came into my room. And I didn't know who these dogs were. And something told me it was they belonged to my deceased brother-in-law, and who died young. And so anyways, the larger dog was gray and with gray and black, and he was kind of on the tall side with a long snout. And he came up on my bed, and he cuddled close to me very so gently and laid his head on me. And then the other dog was more like a beagle-sized dog, and he came up on the bed. And like an ordinary dog, he tried to take over the whole bed, and I found myself smushed against the wall. And so in my dream, I'm thinking, you go sleep on that corner of the bed, okay? And this other dog, I welcomed him. So when I woke up, and the dream continued, but when I woke up, what was really hitting me is how this dog cuddled to me. And I said, oh, yeah, dog is God, spelled backwards. And that was the feeling, is that I'm surrounded with God. And that was the meaning of my dream. Wow. And the fact that it came from my brother-in-law, who died so young. Mm-hmm. I'm being prayed for by the community of saints. And that's what I've always carried in dreams. And I've always pondered on my dreams, even as a child. And people have actually come to me and told me their dreams. And I would ask them, how do you feel about your dream? What was the most poignant part? And then I'd say, well, would you consider this? And their jaws would drop and say, oh, my goodness. But I don't see myself as an interpreter, because I've been told by dream interpreters, you don't interpret dreams, you let the people tell you. And that's basically when people bring me their dreams, I just let them I guess in a sense, the way I put forward the question, I guess it's a form of interpretation. I just unpackage their dreams. But anyways, what people are saying about dreams, if you're confused about a dream, who's my go-to? Of course, God. But Mary, undoer of knots.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in my own dreams, if I dream about spiders, if bears are in my dreams, I've been in the bush a lot. I don't want to meet a bear. But those are dreams of caution to me. Something's going on in my life. And so I go to St. Mary, undoer of knots, and to help me figure that out. But dreams have been with me through thick and thin. When a time when I was going through a lot of disaster, I dreamt I was in a bush, and suddenly I slipped, and I was falling down an embankment, a hill, sliding, and my brother was there. And I realized in hindsight that was a warning dream, but it was also an encouraging dream because I had people around me who were helping me in the dream. And so that followed me in my life. So what's going on in your life right now will impact your dreams and what comes out.
Right. Elizabeth, I just want to say, I love the way you relate the people's dreams when they tell you about their vivid dreams. You kind of ask them those questions that gets them to think about where they're at, like in their emotional state, and you're connecting that. I think that's really helpful for people, because sometimes when you have these really or recurring dreams that just keep happening over and over again, you start to think, am I going crazy? Is something going on here that I should know about, or what's happening? And I also love the way you brought in Mary, undoer of knots. It's God-centered, and I think that's such a beautiful way to make sense of it all, because sometimes these dreams can be very disturbing or unsettling. Sometimes they're great. I know people that have dreamt that they've won the lottery, and then they're living on an oceanfront property, and it's just gorgeous. Okay, and that's wonderful. But other people, it can be, and especially if you're alone and you have these dreams, it is hard to make sense of it. And so if you can bring, ask Our Lady, Mary, undoer of knots, or relate it to somehow, is God, like Jerry said, is God trying to get me to think about something? Is something happening? But I also think too, the mind is very powerful, and it works, and it can manifest these things. So I mean, you have to kind of have a good balance on it, and it sounds like you do, Elizabeth. But I just want to say, thank you for bringing that in about Mary, undoer of knots. We're firm believers of that novena, the prayer, and Jerry, wouldn't you agree on that? That drawing people out and kind of connecting to the emotion that they're feeling or something that's going on, I think can be very, very healing. And it actually goes along with the research we did, Elizabeth. They were talking about people who went through a divorce, and when they think about when they have dreams about their former spouse, they actually said they have less of depression that sets in from the divorce when you dream about your former spouse. Now, go figure that out. You would think, I don't want to dream about my former spouse, but it actually helps in the coping phase. What do you think, Jerry?
No, I agree with what you said about Elizabeth, I think, was right on. You don't approach somebody who's sharing a dream with you, at least I don't think you would, and start telling them what the dream was about, as much as, like you said, asking those questions, almost drawing out of them. So what do you think it means? What's going on in your life? Oh, and then from one question can lead to another, and pretty soon the person might, if God wills it, might have a good grasp of what the dream meant. So, yeah. Elizabeth, thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I was mentioning earlier EWTN's many ministry outreaches, and one is the Catholic News Agency. It's the only fast, reliable, and free Catholic news source that brings blogs, stories, opinions, and more right to your fingertips. For the latest Catholic news, visit CatholicNewsAgency.com, an online service from EWTN News.
Okay, thank you again, Elizabeth. We're going to go to Tamara in Georgia, listening on the Quest. Hi, Tamara. We have a few minutes. Welcome to Take Two.
Thank you, Debbie, and God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Congratulations on your upcoming 5th anniversary with the Take Two radio show.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Amen.
Yeah.
I was wanting to give a couple of quick suggestions for the people who are having troubling dreams or nightmares, anything like that. Things that have helped me, and I'm a relatively new Catholic, about 4 to 5 years now, is the St. Joseph candles, lighting a candle, and then praying and asking for intercessions from St. Joseph, the patron saint, and the expeller of demons. And then the St. John's wort tea is excellent to take at night. It's non-addictive, and St. John's wort tea gives you a refreshing night's sleep, especially if you've been either overworked and things are just going all night long in your head. That has been very, very, both of those, the St. Joseph candles and then the St. John's wort tea, have been very helpful for me. And then there was a gentleman talking about having dreams of him being naked while he was driving. I don't know if it was a bus or whatever it was. I had learned that naked dreams simply mean that you are a very honest person and your life is like an open book. It's not a bad thing. It's a little bit funny. And I used to dream like this all the time since I was a little girl, and it made perfect sense for my life. And my mother would say the same thing. You're an open book, Tammy. Everybody knows what you're thinking and how you're feeling about all kinds of things. For the people who are having those types of dreams, it's just that you're very honest. And what I would recommend is to remember to start each day with prayer so that you're covered and guided by God and His will. Because if you go out and you just free will it, you can wind up in some situations where you're like, well, I wasn't quite as prepared as I needed to be.
That's when he becomes 911 God. He becomes, we dial 911. God, I need you right now. I love the way that you brought in St. Joseph, Tamara.
Right, that's right. Oh, my goodness, Jerry. If you prepare up front, it makes the whole day so much better.
Yeah. Well, and Bob, our next caller, we're not going to have time for you, Bob, but he says we need to turn to St. Joseph, and that's what you said as well, Tamara. Debbie and Marty, her husband, and I, and so many people are going through the consecration to St. Joseph right now. Look that up online by Father Donald Calloway. It is going to, I think, really supercharge the role of St. Joseph in the world, in the church, and in each of our lives. But again, we started the program off by showing how in the Scriptures, God, it's both Old and New Testaments, God has used dreams to fulfill his plan. And there were the 4 dreams of St. Joseph, the one where he is told not to be afraid to take Mary as his wife. He's warned to leave Bethlehem and flee to Egypt. And then while in Egypt, he's told it's safe to go back to Israel. And on the way back, he's warned in a dream to go a different route. So when you think about it, it was dreams, Debbie, that helped preserve our salvation in a sense, because I'm sure God would have protected Jesus one way or another, but it was in those dreams that he communicated to St. Joseph, who, the just man, the obedient one, fulfilled God's will perfectly in raising and caring for the child Jesus.
Very interesting. Yes, indeed. Tamara, the message you had was for Michael. Michael called in from New Mexico. So, Michael, if you're listening, Tamara is sharing with you that you're an open book, Michael. You're honest. That's what your dreams mean. And, Bob, thank you again. You're a first-time caller. You can always call us again, Bob. Please do so. We just value our first-time callers so very, very much. Tomorrow, we just wanted to ask the children. Okay, so if your kids can come on the program, that would be great. If not, please represent your children and tell us how they are feeling about the pandemic. What do they think about the whole thing? What does it mean for them going back to school? Are they nervous about it? Are fears setting in? We want to hear how the children are feeling about the pandemic. That's tomorrow's show on Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie. Jerry?
Yeah, and hopefully come out of it, as Debbie says, a little bit better, a little bit closer to God, maybe with a few less fears, a little less anxiety, because this is impacting not just big people, not just grown-ups, but our kids as well. So absolutely.
So please make sure you call in tomorrow, and we welcome the kids to call in as well with parents' permission. So until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. We'll see you real soon.
Dr. Ray Guarendi avoiding all known forms of psychobabble. The doctor is in next on the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
Morning Glory. It's Catholic from